Are you over 60 and constantly feeling heavy, sluggish, or bloated, no matter how carefully you eat? What if the real problem isn't your stomach, but the slow, silent buildup of waste lingering inside your colon right now? When things get stuck, most seniors immediately reach for a harsh chemical laxative. But here is what your doctor may not have had the time to mention. Relying on those artificial stimulants can actually weaken your gut's natural reflexes over time, making the problem worse. Fortunately, nature has already provided a much safer, highly effective alternative. Certain everyday fruits contain specific digestive enzymes and unique fibers that gently encourage regular bowel movements and help naturally sweep your colon clean, often bringing noticeable relief within just a few days. Imagine waking up feeling light, energized, and completely comfortable without the sudden cramping of a pill. Today, we are ranking the top 10 fruits that support a healthy colon, from gentle daily helpers to the absolute most powerful option. And wait until you see number 1. It has been shown to be more effective than many popular fiber supplements, but chances are you might be eating it the wrong way. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to support your body's natural waste clearing process using simple foods you might already have in your kitchen. But first, we need to talk about why you are feeling this way. If you are constantly dealing with unexplained fatigue, a heavy feeling in your stomach, or even a mild sense of brain fog, the real issue might be hiding further down in your digestive tract. Here is what may be happening inside your body right now. As we pass the age of 60, our digestive system goes through significant, quiet changes. The rhythmic muscle contractions that push waste through your intestines, a process known as peristalsis, naturally begin to slow down. At the same time, our bodies become less efficient at signaling thirst, meaning many older adults are chronically, mildly dehydrated without even realizing it. When your digestion slows down and lacks proper hydration, waste sits in your colon for much longer than it should. The colon then absorbs whatever water is left, leaving the stool dry, hard, and incredibly difficult to pass. This slow transit time doesn't just cause physical discomfort. It can alter your delicate gut bacteria and allow natural toxins that should have been eliminated to linger, which may contribute to that sluggish, drained feeling you experience throughout the day. You have probably been told 100 times to simply eat more fiber or eat more vegetables. While that is good general advice, it often does not address the full picture of an aging gut. In fact, throwing random rough fiber into a sluggish, dry colon can sometimes make the bloating feel even worse. What your digestive tract actually needs are specific, natural catalysts. We are talking about specialized digestive enzymes, gel-forming soluble fibers, and natural compounds like sorbitol that actively pull water back into the intestines and gently encourage your colon muscles to wake up and do their job. Before we begin, please remember that this video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always talk to your doctor before changing your diet, supplements, medication, or health routine. Not all fruits are created equal when it comes to colon health. Some offer modest daily support, while others are absolute powerhouses. Today, we are ranking the top 10 fruits to support a healthy, active colon, starting from the gentlest daily helpers all the way up to the undisputed, science-backed champion. Let's get started. Number 10. Watermelon. When most people think of watermelon, they just see a sweet summer treat, or maybe they avoid it entirely, thinking it is nothing but sugar. But when it comes to the absolute foundation of a healthy colon, this everyday fruit is quietly doing something essential. To understand why, you have to look at one of the biggest hidden causes of constipation in adults over 60, chronic mild dehydration. As we age, our bodies naturally become less efficient at signaling thirst. You might go hours without drinking water and not even realize you are running low. When your body is dehydrated, your colon has to adapt. It starts pulling moisture out of your digestive waste to keep your vital organs functioning. The result? Hard, dry stool that is uncomfortable, painful, and very difficult to pass. This is where watermelon steps in. Made up of an astonishing 92% water, it acts as a gentle, natural hydration flood for your digestive tract. When you consume it, you are actively helping to soften the accumulated waste along your colon walls. Furthermore, watermelon contains magnesium, a mineral known to help relax the muscles in your intestinal wall, and lycopene, an antioxidant that some evidence suggests may help soothe minor inflammation in the gut lining. However, we are ranking this at number 10 for a reason. Watermelon is a gentle foundation, not a heavy-duty fix. If your digestion has been completely stalled for days, watermelon alone is not going to aggressively push things through. It does not have the dense fiber or specialized enzymes needed for a deep sweep. It is strictly for daily maintenance, not emergencies. If you want to use it correctly, enjoy a slice or two daily as a refreshing snack. But here is the warning. Do not juice it. Juicing strips away the necessary cellular structure of the fruit and can quickly spike your blood sugar. If you are managing diabetes or blood sugar issues, always talk to your doctor about how to safely incorporate sweet fruits into your daily routine. Score 3 out of 10. It is a fantastic, mild daily habit that is incredibly easy to digest. But here is what most people do not realize. Simply adding water to a sluggish colon will only get you so far if your beneficial gut bacteria are starving and your stool lacks structure. You need something that provides actual bulk while actively feeding your microbiome. And that brings us to number 9, where the real digestive work begins. Number 9, berries, specifically raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries. When you hear about berries, you probably think of antioxidants for your brain or your skin. But when it comes to your colon, these tiny fruits deliver a remarkable 1-2 punch that very few everyday foods can match. But here's what most people don't realize. Simply hydrating a sluggish colon will only get you so far if your beneficial gut bacteria are starving and your stool lacks physical structure. This is exactly where berries step in. They provide a dense, rich combination of both soluble and insoluble fiber. The insoluble fiber acts like a gentle broom, adding much-needed bulk to your stool and encouraging it to move through the digestive tract at a healthier pace. Meanwhile, the soluble fiber acts as a premium food source for your beneficial gut bacteria. When your gut bacteria feed on this fiber, they produce short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, which are vital compounds that help keep the colon lining strong, healthy, and resilient. Furthermore, berries are packed with polyphenols, particularly anthocyanins, the natural compounds responsible for their deep red, purple, and blue colors. Current scientific evidence suggests that these specific polyphenols are metabolized directly in the large intestine, where they may help support a healthy microbial balance and soothe minor, everyday intestinal irritation. However, there is a catch. Because they are small, eating just 2 or 3 berries on top of your oatmeal won't do much for your digestion. For consistent colon support, you need to consume about a half cup of mixed berries daily. We also know that fresh berries can be expensive depending on where you live. The simple fix? Buy them frozen. Frozen berries are picked at peak ripeness and retain almost all of their fiber and polyphenols at a fraction of the cost. A quick safety note: if you have a history of active diverticulitis or severe bowel disorders, you should always check with your gastroenterologist before significantly increasing your intake of seeded berries. Adding too much fiber too quickly can sometimes cause temporary gas and bloating, so start small and drink plenty of water. Score: 4.5 out of 10. They are a delicious, science-backed habit for long-term gut maintenance. But berries provide structure, not necessarily speed. What if your colon needs a more immediate wake-up call? What if you need to actively trigger the natural nerve signals that tell your digestive system it is time to get moving right now? That brings us to number 8. Number 8, citrus fruits, specifically lemons, oranges, and grapefruit. When you think of citrus, you probably think of grabbing some extra vitamin C to fight off a winter cold. But for your digestive system, these fruits are far more than just an immune booster. They are actually one of nature's most effective natural triggers for waking up a sleepy, sluggish colon. Here is what makes them so unique. Citrus fruits, especially in their pulp and peel, are rich in a specific type of soluble fiber called pectin. Inside your digestive tract, pectin transforms into a soothing, thick gel. This gel helps gently sweep accumulated waste along the colon walls while simultaneously feeding your beneficial gut bacteria. But the real magic happens when we look at how lemons specifically interact with your nervous system. And this is where it becomes important. If you suffer from chronic morning constipation, Simply drinking a glass of warm lemon water on an empty stomach right after waking up can act as a powerful biological switch. The combination of the warm temperature and the natural citric acid helps stimulate gastric juices and activate something called the gastrocolic reflex. This is the natural nerve signal your stomach sends directly to your colon, essentially telling it, new food is coming in. It is time to clear out the old waste. Some clinical evidence suggests that consuming warm liquid in the morning, especially with the slight acidity of lemon, produces a much faster and more reliable bowel movement in older adults compared to drinking cold water. The temperature matters just as much as the fruit itself. However, we must talk about a critical safety warning here. While oranges and lemons are generally very safe, grapefruit is an entirely different story. Grapefruit contains specific compounds that can interfere with how your liver and intestines process certain medications, particularly statins for high cholesterol, and several common blood pressure drugs. If you are on any prescription medications, you must talk to your doctor or pharmacist before adding grapefruit or grapefruit juice to your daily routine. Additionally, the acid in lemon juice can erode your tooth enamel over time, so it is best to drink your warm lemon water through a straw and rinse your mouth with plain water afterward. Cost-wise, lemons and oranges are incredibly accessible, budget-friendly, and easy to find year-round. Score 5 out of 10. They are an excellent, affordable tool for triggering that crucial morning reflex. But here's the catch. Triggering a bowel movement is great, but what if your intestinal lining itself is weakened, irritated, or lacking the proper cellular energy to function? You need a food that doesn't just push waste through, but actually helps nourish and rebuild the colon's protective barrier from the inside out. And that brings us to number 7. Number 7, avocado. When you hear avocado, your mind probably jumps straight to heart health or healthy fats. And while that is entirely true, focusing only on the fat means you are missing its most profound benefit. Avocado is actually one of the most strategic foods you can eat for long-term colon health, but it works completely differently than anything we have discussed so far. Unlike fruits that simply push water or bulk through your system, avocado works on a deeper cellular level. It helps nourish and maintain the actual physical barrier of your intestines. A single avocado contains a dense blend of unique soluble fibers. Instead of just sweeping waste away, your beneficial gut bacteria ferment these fibers directly inside the large intestine, producing vital compounds called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. These SCFAs act as the primary fuel source for the cells lining your colon. When those cells are properly fed, they maintain a tighter, healthier, and more resilient protective barrier against natural toxins and everyday irritation. Some emerging research suggests that incorporating avocado into your daily diet may help support a more diverse gut microbiome, which is one of the strongest indicators of overall digestive resilience as we age. However, we must be realistic about its limitations. Avocado is a slow, structural builder, not a fast mover. If you are currently backed up and uncomfortable, avocado alone will not trigger an immediate bowel movement. To get the most out of it, try adding half an avocado to your daily routine, perhaps sliced with your lunch or mashed alongside your morning eggs. A quick word of caution. Avocados are highly calorie-dense. If you are managing your weight, stick to half a fruit per day. Furthermore, if you have a history of gallbladder issues or have had your gallbladder removed, suddenly eating a large amount of any fat, even the healthy kind, might cause mild stomach upset or loose stools, so always introduce it slowly. Score 5.5 out of 10. It is the ultimate nourishing food for an aging gut lining. But here is what most people don't realize. Rebuilding your colon lining is incredibly important. But what if your digestive tract is currently struggling with heavy, undigested proteins that are sitting there, fermenting, and causing trapped gas and painful bloating? You need something to help break that stubborn waste down. The next fruit contains a natural compound so effective at this specific job that it is actually isolated and used in professional digestive supplements. Let's look at number 6. Number 6, papaya. If you constantly struggle with trapped gas, painful bloating, and a feeling like your food is just sitting in your stomach long after you eat, this tropical fruit might be exactly what your digestive system is missing. Most people view papaya as just a sweet vacation breakfast, but in the world of digestive health, it is highly respected for a very specific reason, an incredibly powerful natural compound called papain. Here is why this is so critical for seniors. As we pass our 60s, our bodies naturally produce less stomach acid and fewer of the digestive enzymes needed to break down complex proteins. When you eat a piece of meat or a dense plant protein and your stomach cannot fully break it down, those heavy undigested particles travel all the way down into your large intestine. Once there, your gut bacteria begin to ferment them. This specific type of protein fermentation produces excess gas, intense bloating, and byproducts that can slow your bowel movements to a painful crawl. When you eat papaya, the papain acts as a proteolytic enzyme, meaning it specifically targets and breaks apart those stubborn protein molecules. It is so effective at this job that many companies actually isolate papain to use in professional-grade, over-the-counter digestive supplements. By helping your body digest proteins more completely before they reach the colon, papaya may help significantly reduce the amount of trapped gas and heaviness you experience after meals. But you must use it correctly to get these benefits. The riper the papaya, the higher the concentration of this active, soothing enzyme. Always choose deeply orange, soft, fully ripe fruit. Eating half a ripe papaya in the morning, perhaps 20 minutes before a cooked breakfast, allows the enzymes to prepare your digestive tract for the day ahead. There is a critical warning here, however. Do not eat green, unripe papaya if you are looking to soothe your digestion. Unripe papaya contains high levels of a natural latex that can actually trigger severe stomach cramps and irritation. Furthermore, if you have a known medical allergy to latex, you should talk to your doctor before eating papaya entirely, as the proteins are very similar and can trigger a cross-reaction. Score 6.5 out of 10. It is a fantastic natural enzyme helper for heavy, painful bloating. But here is what most people don't realize. Breaking down proteins is incredibly helpful, but what if your colon is completely unpredictable? What if you swing back and forth between uncomfortable constipation and sudden loose stools? You need a fruit that acts like a smart sponge to help normalize your bowel function in both directions. And that brings us to number 5. Number 5, apples. You have heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away your entire life. It sounds like outdated generic advice, almost too simple to be true. But when you look closely at what an apple actually does inside your large intestine, it is one of the most mechanically fascinating foods you can eat. If your colon is completely unpredictable, meaning you swing back and forth between uncomfortable constipation one week and sudden loose stools the next, you don't just need something that forcefully pushes waste through. You need a fruit that acts like a smart sponge to help normalize your bowel function in both directions. No harsh chemical laxative can do that safely, but an apple can. This is where apples truly shine. They are one of nature's richest sources of a specific gel-forming, soluble fiber called pectin. When pectin reaches your large intestine, it behaves remarkably well. If you are dealing with dry, stubborn, hard stool, this gel-like substance helps retain moisture, softening and lubricating the waste, so it is much easier to pass without straining. On the flip side, if your system is moving too fast and you are experiencing mild loose stools, that exact same pectin absorbs the excess water in your colon, helping to add form and structure back to your bowel movements. Beyond just the physical fiber, apples contain powerful polyphenols that act as prebiotics. These compounds selectively feed your beneficial gut bacteria, encouraging them to produce the anti-inflammatory short-chain fatty acids that protect your colon lining from daily wear and tear. Current evidence strongly supports that regular consumption of pectin-rich fruits helps maintain healthy bowel movement frequency and overall gut comfort. But here is where most people get it wrong. If you peel the apple before eating it, or if you rely on clear apple juice, you are throwing away almost the entire benefit. The vast majority of the necessary insoluble fiber and crucial polyphenols are locked right inside the skin. To get these colon-supporting effects, you must eat one whole apple daily with the skin still on. Wash it thoroughly, but do not peel it. A quick safety note, Apples contain specific natural sugars called FODMAPs. For a small percentage of seniors with very sensitive digestion or irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, eating a whole apple might cause a bit of initial bloating. If that applies to you, simply start with a quarter or half of an apple and see how your body responds. Score 7 out of 10. It is the ultimate affordable stabilizer for an unpredictable gut. But here's the thing about apples. They do an amazing job of normalizing your system, but they rely heavily on the water that is already inside your digestive tract. What if your colon is so dried out and sluggish that it needs a mechanism to actively pull fresh water deep into the intestines to safely flush things out? You need a fruit that contains a very specific natural compound capable of triggering a safe, osmotic effect. And that brings us to number 4. Number 4, pears. If you listen to the section on apples, you know that pectin acts like a sponge, soaking up the water that is already inside your digestive tract. But what if your colon is chronically dry? What if there simply isn't enough water in there to begin with? You need a mechanism that actively pulls fresh moisture deep into the intestines to safely hydrate and move the waste. This is where pears become incredibly valuable. A single medium pear is an absolute powerhouse, delivering nearly 6 grams of dietary fiber. But the fiber is only half the story. What truly sets pears apart from almost every other common fruit is their naturally high concentration of sorbitol. Sorbitol is a natural sugar alcohol that your small intestine cannot fully absorb. Because it isn't completely broken down early in digestion, it travels all the way down into your large intestine. Once there, it performs a fascinating biological function: osmosis. It actively draws water from the surrounding tissues directly into the colon. This influx of water hydrates the hardened stool, expands its mass, and gently encourages the natural muscular contractions your body needs to pass waste comfortably. In the medical world, this exact osmotic mechanism is how many popular over-the-counter laxatives work. However, pears deliver this effect naturally, providing a much gentler alternative that does not create the harsh dependency often associated with chemical stimulants. But here is where most people get it completely wrong. They peel the pear before eating it. If you throw away the skin, you are throwing away up to half of the vital insoluble fiber that your colon desperately needs to create physical bulk. You must eat the pear with the skin on to get the critical dual benefit of the skin's fiber and the flesh's sorbitol. A quick safety warning: because sorbitol draws water into the gut and is fermented by bacteria, eating too many pears at once can easily backfire, leading to sudden loose stools or trapped gas. Furthermore, just like apples, pears are high in natural FODMAPs. If you have been diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, or have a highly sensitive gut, you should introduce them very slowly to ensure they do not trigger uncomfortable bloating. Score 7.5 out of 10. They are a fantastic natural osmotic tool for a chronically dry, sluggish gut. But here is the reality. Pulling water into the colon is incredibly effective. But what if your intestinal muscles are so fatigued that they still struggle to contract properly? You need a food that combines deep hydration with a high concentration of the specific minerals and enzymes required to physically wake up the rhythmic movement of those muscles. And that brings us to number 3. Number 3, figs. When your colon is moving too slowly, when waste lingers for days causing that familiar heaviness, bloating, and deep discomfort, pulling water into the gut is only part of the solution. If the muscles of your intestinal wall are fatigued and simply not contracting the way they used to, you need a food that provides a direct biological wake-up call. This is where figs become incredibly useful. Few everyday fruits are as targeted for what medical professionals call colonic transit time, the actual speed at which waste moves safely through your system. What makes figs uniquely powerful is their specific combination of nutrients. Each fig contains a specialized enzyme called phycin, which works alongside a very dense mineral profile, particularly high levels of magnesium. Magnesium is an essential mineral that helps regulate the rhythmic muscle contractions of your colon walls, a process known as peristalsis. When these smooth muscles are properly nourished and contract efficiently, Waste moves through your intestinal tract at a healthy speed, reducing the chance for excess fermentation, trapped gas, and toxic reabsorption. Some moderate clinical studies suggest that regular consumption of figs may help support a faster transit time and improve overall stool consistency. It provides a natural, gentle push without the sudden, painful cramping often caused by harsh stimulant laxatives. But this is where most people get the preparation wrong. Eating hard, dry figs straight out of the bag can actually be tough on a sluggish, dehydrated gut. The exact protocol for seniors is to take 3 to 4 dried figs and soak them in a glass of water overnight. By morning, the figs will be plump, soft, and easy to digest. Eat the figs and drink the remaining water on an empty stomach. This simple habit delivers the fiber, the enzymes, and the crucial hydration all at once. However, there is a critical safety warning you cannot ignore. Because the water is removed, dried figs are exceptionally high in concentrated natural sugars. If you are managing type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, or strictly monitoring your blood glucose levels, consuming several dried figs can cause a rapid and unwanted blood sugar spike. Always speak with your doctor or endocrinologist before adding concentrated dried fruits to your daily routine. Score: 8 out of 10. They are a reliable, mineral-rich tool for waking up sleepy colon muscles. But here is what you need to know next. Figs are wonderful, but what if you want a fruit that has been rigorously tested in modern clinical trials and is frequently recommended by actual gastroenterologists as an alternative to standard pharmacy fiber powders? We are now entering the absolute top tier. Let's look at number 2. Number 2, kiwi. If there is one fruit on this list that has genuinely earned its high ranking through rigorous clinical science, it is the simple, everyday kiwi. Small, relatively affordable, and widely available, kiwi is one of the most extensively researched fruits in the world when it comes to supporting colon health. What makes it extraordinary is its unique dual mechanism. First, it contains a specialized enzyme called actinidin. This specific proteolytic enzyme helps support the breakdown of proteins early in your digestive tract, meaning food can move through the stomach and small intestine more efficiently before it even reaches the colon. Second, the fiber found specifically in green kiwis has an exceptional water retention capacity. Instead of just adding rough bulk, this fiber holds on to moisture deep inside the large intestine. It acts like a delicate gel, keeping your stool soft, bulky, and much easier to pass without the exhausting straining that many older adults experience. This combination of enzymatic support and moisture-retaining fiber creates a gentle bowel-stimulating effect that is highly respected in the medical community. In fact, current clinical evidence suggests that consuming 2 green kiwis a day can significantly support regular bowel movement frequency. Many modern gastroenterologists even recommend it as a comfortable, whole food alternative to standard psyllium husk fiber powders, especially for those who find pharmacy supplements too harsh or bloating. To get the most out of this fruit, the protocol is straightforward. Eat 2 green kiwis daily. You can peel them or simply slice them in half and scoop out the inside with a spoon. Consuming them in the morning alongside a large glass of water often yields the best, most consistent results. However, there is an important safety warning. Kiwi contains specific proteins that can trigger allergic reactions in some people. If you have a known medical allergy to latex, you should speak with your doctor before eating kiwi, as the proteins are very similar and can trigger a cross-reaction. Additionally, if you have a history of severe acid reflux, the natural acidity of 2 kiwis on an empty stomach might cause mild irritation, so you may need to eat them alongside other foods. Score: 9 out of 10. It is a scientifically validated, highly effective tool for everyday digestive support. But here is what most people don't realize. As powerful as kiwi, figs, and pears are, they usually rely on 1 or 2 mechanisms to gently encourage digestion. What if your colon has been stubbornly sluggish for years? What if you need a food that deploys a massive triple-action mechanism, simultaneously bulking, hydrating, and actively stimulating the physical contractions of your intestinal wall all at once? The number 1 option does exactly that, and it has absolutely no competition in the natural world. Let's look at the undisputed champion. Number 1, prunes. There is no competition. When it comes to a natural, food-based approach to supporting a healthy, active colon, dried plums, commonly known as prunes, are the undisputed, science-backed champion. Nothing else on this list comes close to their comprehensive, multi-layered approach to digestive health. What makes prunes so extraordinarily powerful is that they do not rely on just one single mechanism to help clear your system. They actually deploy three distinct mechanisms simultaneously, creating a triple action effect that is highly respected in the medical and nutritional communities. First, their high concentration of insoluble fiber immediately goes to work adding necessary physical bulk to your stool, giving your intestinal muscles something solid to grip and push against. Second, similar to pears, prunes contain a massive amount of sorbitol. This natural sugar alcohol cannot be fully digested early on, so it travels directly to the colon where it performs its osmotic magic. It actively draws fresh water into the intestinal cavity, dramatically hydrating and softening the accumulated waste. But the third mechanism is what truly sets them apart from standard pharmacy fiber powders. Prunes contain specific phenolic compounds, particularly neochlorogenic and chlorogenic acids. Current clinical evidence suggests that these compounds may help directly stimulate the nerve reflexes in your gut wall. This encourages those powerful rhythmic muscular contractions, known as peristalsis, that physically push waste through your system naturally, thoroughly, and without chemical dependency. Beyond just moving waste, prunes also act as exceptional prebiotics. They selectively feed some of the most beneficial bacterial species in your gut, such as bifidobacterium. A thriving population of these bacteria is essential for maintaining a strong intestinal lining and minimizing everyday digestive irritation as we age. The clinical evidence supporting prunes is remarkably strong. Rigorous nutritional studies and meta-analyses frequently compare daily prune consumption directly against psyllium husk, which is the gold standard of over-the-counter fiber supplements. In many of these trials, participants consuming a daily portion of prunes experience a significantly higher frequency of complete, spontaneous bowel movements and softer stool consistency compared to the standard supplement group. But here is exactly how you must use them, because most people do this wrong and end up with terrible stomach cramps. Do not eat a whole bag of prunes on your first day. The exact protocol for older adults is to start very slowly. Begin with just 3 to 5 prunes eaten in the late afternoon or soaked overnight in water. You must consume them with a large, full glass of water. Remember, adding massive amounts of fiber without proper hydration can actually make a sluggish colon worse. Once your body adjusts over a few days, you can safely increase your intake to about 8 to 10 prunes daily for maximum support. They are incredibly affordable, taste like a sweet dessert, and are available in almost every grocery store year-round. There is, however, a critical safety warning. Because prunes are a dried fruit with the water removed, their natural sugars are highly concentrated. If you have type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, or struggle with blood sugar management, you must consult your doctor or a registered dietitian before eating prunes daily. Additionally, if you overeat them before your gut microbiome is accustomed to them, the intense osmotic effect will likely cause severe gas, bloating, and sudden loose stools. Score: 10 out of 10. For seniors, prunes are the most practical, deeply effective, and widely studied whole food option nature has ever produced for colon support. But here is the most important part of this entire video. Knowing these 10 fruits is completely useless if you combine them incorrectly or use them at the wrong time. In fact, making certain common mistakes with these high-fiber foods can actually cause your digestive system to lock up even worse than before. Let's talk about the crucial mistakes you must avoid. But here is the most important part of this entire video. Knowing these 10 fruits is completely useless if you combine them incorrectly or use them at the wrong time. In fact, making certain common mistakes with these high-fiber foods can actually cause your digestive system to lock up even worse than before. The number one mistake seniors make is relying on the processed version of these fruits. Drinking clear apple juice, filtered pear juice, or heavily sweetened fruit purees will not help your colon. The juicing process completely strips away the essential insoluble fiber and leaves you with a concentrated sugar spike that can actually feed the wrong types of bacteria in your gut. You must eat the whole fruit and whenever possible, leave the skin on. The second major mistake is increasing your fiber intake without dramatically increasing your water intake. Think of fiber like a dry sponge. When you eat things like prunes, pears, or apples, they need water to expand and soften. If your body is chronically dehydrated and you suddenly introduce a massive amount of dense fiber, that fiber will simply sit in your colon like dry cement, making your constipation much more painful and difficult to resolve. Always drink a large full glass of water whenever you eat these fruits. The third mistake is expecting an overnight miracle and eating too much at once. If your colon has been sluggish for years, eating 15 prunes on your very first day will shock your digestive system, leading to severe trapped gas, painful bloating, and sudden diarrhea. You must give your gut microbiome time to adjust. Start small and listen to your body. Additionally, if you are currently taking prescription medications, especially painkillers, iron supplements, or blood pressure treatments that are known to slow down digestion, do not stop taking your prescribed medication just to try a natural remedy. Always consult your doctor or a pharmacist to see how your diet might interact with your specific health needs. Most importantly, we need to talk about when natural solutions are no longer appropriate. If you have chest pain, sudden weakness, trouble breathing, blood in your stool or urine, sudden vision loss, severe abdominal pain, confusion, or severe swelling, do not try to fix it with food or supplements. Seek medical help immediately. Now that you know what to avoid, how do you actually put this together into a daily routine that works? Let's build your exact protocol. Now that you know what to avoid, how do you actually put this together into a daily routine that works? Let's build your exact protocol. You do not need to eat all 10 of these fruits every single day. In fact, doing so would likely overwhelm your digestive system and cause unnecessary bloating. The secret to supporting a healthy, active colon is consistency, not extreme volume. Here is exactly how to structure your daily routine. First, establish your foundation. For most seniors, the most reliable approach is to choose one highly effective fruit to be your daily staple. Making our number one fruit, prunes, your daily foundation is often the best place to start. Eat 3 to 5 prunes in the late afternoon, always consumed with a large glass of water. Alternatively, if you prefer a morning routine, eating 2 green kiwis right after waking up provides an equally excellent, clinically studied foundation. Second, use the add-on strategy. If your gut has been incredibly sluggish for a long time and the foundation alone isn't quite enough to get things moving, you can add a simple morning trigger. Drinking a warm glass of lemon water immediately upon waking can help stimulate your natural gastric juices and wake up your gastrocolic reflex before you even eat your first meal. Third, embrace rotation. Throughout the week, rotate the other supportive fruits into your regular meals. You might enjoy half an avocado with your lunch on Monday to provide deep nourishment for your colon lining. Eat a whole apple with the skin on for a Wednesday snack to help normalize your bowel function. And consume a few soaked figs on Friday to give your intestinal muscles a gentle magnesium boost. What kind of timeline should you expect? You cannot do this for 3 days and expect permanent results. This is a daily habit. If your colon has been sluggish for years, it will take time to gently retrain those muscles. Here is a realistic timeline. Within 24 to 48 hours, some people may notice mild gurgling or a slight increase in gas. This is a normal sign that your beneficial gut bacteria are beginning to ferment the new fiber. Within 3 days, you may begin noticing patterns in your digestion, such as the physical consistency of your stool becoming slightly softer and easier to pass. Within 1 week, routine consistency becomes easier to evaluate. You might notice you are not straining as much in the bathroom. Within 2 weeks, you may notice whether this specific habit is helping reduce that constant, heavy, bloated feeling in your stomach. Within 30 days, you can review your overall comfort and energy levels to see the long-term benefits of a properly hydrated, well-nourished colon. Pick one approach and stay consistent. However, if you take prescription medications, manage diabetes, or have a chronic medical condition, always talk to your doctor before making major changes to your diet to ensure these specific fruits are safe for you. Before we finish, I want you to remember something critical. If you have been struggling with a sluggish digestive system, heavy bloating, or low energy, you are not broken. Your body is not failing you just because you are getting older. It is highly likely that your daily routine, your diet, or your digestive toolkit simply needs an adjustment. Your body still knows exactly how to function. It just needs the right natural support, the proper hydration, and the correct structural fibers to gently wake up those internal mechanisms. That is why I want to invite you to a simple 30-day challenge. Starting tomorrow, choose just one or two of the fruits we discussed today, perhaps making prunes your daily foundation or starting your morning with a warm glass of lemon water. Write down exactly how you feel right now on day one. Rate your bloating, your energy levels, and your overall digestive comfort on a scale from 1 to 10. Then stay consistent for 30 straight days. On day 30, compare your numbers. You might be completely surprised by how much lighter, more comfortable, and more energized you feel when your colon is finally functioning the way it should, without relying on harsh chemical stimulants. This video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always talk to your doctor before changing your diet, supplements, medication, or health routine. If your symptoms are severe, or if you notice any sudden changes in your digestion, make sure to discuss them with a healthcare professional. If you found this information helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with a friend or family member who might need it. Also, leave a comment below. Which fruit on this list surprised you the most, and which one are you going to try first? Your energy matters, your mobility matters, your independence matters. Let's support your health one consistent habit at a time. See you in the next video.